This month, we are going to be doing a therapeutic movement sequence that's going to restore our body, mind, and soul. And I love doing this regularly. So it's great for if you were just coming off of a program and maybe you're tired from adventure or you were just doing an adventure of your own and you want to restore afterwards. It's also really helpful before you do anything. So if you wanted to use it as like a warm up before you go out on an adventure, this could be helpful. It's also great to just unwind from stresses of life. Pretty much anytime, this is a great thing to do. It slows down the body so that you can really focus on how you're moving, how you're breathing, and it opens up all of our joints. So we're going to be kind of focusing on more micro movements today. And that's why it's a great warm up because then you could go into using your body in different ways. So I just want to remind everyone that mindfulness, this is a quote I saw today that I actually want to share with you. Mindfulness is a way of befriending ourselves and our experience. And so I love that because really this whole anytime we're practicing mindfulness, it's like a challenge by choice. You don't have to do anything. You could sit there. Like I know that there's an alumni on today who is coming off of a surgery, and so even though we'll be doing gentle movements, she may not be able to do those, and I will be guiding in ways that you can participate otherwise as well. So just befriending the experience without any judgment for yourself and how it's showing up in your body and using that as a way to continue to learn more about yourself. So we'll go ahead and get started. You don't need a yoga mat for this. I have mine back here. I'm going to be showing you options of sitting versus laying, and there will be multiple ways that you can move today. And again, you don't have to move. You could just be sitting there the whole time. So if you do want to go back to a mat or just stand in one area, I'm going to start by standing up, and I also invite you to do so, but you can be sitting for this. And I usually start most movement practices this way, where I give you an opportunity to sort of move your body organically. And one of my teachers calls this the octopus. So the octopus is like you kind of move your body, flow, and just do what feels good. You might be like, ooh, that's a little sticky back there. And then maybe some hip circles. And this can then lead to jumping up and down and shaking your body a little bit, like pretending that you're a snow globe and you want to just sort of like let some stuff go. Notice where you're feeling resistance in your body. And then starting to just come to stillness, and you'll start to feel energy moving through. In yoga, we call this prana. I think it's chi in Chinese medicine, and it's just the vital life force within. So you'll feel it flowing. So just notice where it is and where maybe it's stuck. And then I invite you to sit or lay down. So I'm going to be starting by laying down, and then I'll show you the same movements. Um, so it's going to be releasing joint by joint. And so I'm going to make my way just down onto the mat and kind of wiggle a little bit and get comfortable. And start to, if it's comfortable for you, lift your right leg up to the sky. And you may decide to bend your right knee and place your left foot on the floor. That will give you some stability. Or you could keep your leg flat, but you're going to get more of a stretch. Hands are going to go behind your hamstring. And we're just going to simply spread your toes as you inhale. And then bring them back as you exhale. Inhale, spread. Exhale, bring them back. And one more time, inhale and release. And then we're going to point the toes up, inhale. Exhale, drag the toes down to your nose. You're going to feel a stretch in the back of your leg. Inhale, toes up. Exhale, down. So we're moving the ankle joint. Inhale up and exhale down. Now we're going to go around, and we're syncing movement with breath. So we're going to start by rolling your toes over to the right and then up to the sky, over to the left, and then back down to your nose. And you're sort of pulling your ankle around that way. Inhaling up and exhaling to the left and down. Good. One more time. Inhaling up and then exhaling around and down. You may be feeling like I get little snap, crackle, pops in the ankle. Now we'll go to the left. So inhaling toes to the left and up slowly. Exhale to the right and down. And continuing. So only going as fast as you can move with your breath. So if your foot's going faster than your breath, you got to try to do two things at once, which is breathe and move, which I know you can do. You got this. All right. And then back to stillness. And just notice, like, wow, my ankle is tired from that. So now we're going to kick the heel up a little bit, straighten the leg. And I just realized I forgot to show you. If you're sitting down, your legs can just be out and doing the same movement like this. The legs can just be straight, or you could be sitting in a chair, and it's totally fine if you have your knees bent as you're doing these ankle movements. And I apologize, I didn't show that to you first. So just whatever works for you is what you're going to do. And this one might be a little bit trickier. So, because we're going to be working on the knee joint next. So, we'll inhale, it's going to kick the heel up, and then exhale. You're going to sort of let the heel like fall back down so that there's a really loose movement in the knee. And inhale up and exhale down. And then if you're sitting, it's a little harder because you have to kind of use your core. Inhale, exhale. It might be easier in the chair. And remember also, if you are recovering from something where you can't move, you can just be directing your energy to these areas and breathing to open up, like inhale, exhale, and breathe. And you'll be sort of like visualizing that you're opening up these areas. All right. And after a few of the knee, we're going to move to the hip. And so we're going to draw the knee in and just move it in a circle. So it's going to go out to the side and then forward, over midline, and then back into the chest. And like this. So inhale out, forward, exhale over and in. You might get a little pop in there. And then we're going to switch directions. So as your knee comes back in, you'll go inhale over midline and forward. Exhale out to the right and back in. So very small. You're just getting that ball and socket moving. And again, if you're kind of on the ground, you may have to brace yourself with your arms behind, and it will feel fatigued. You are going to be moving that joint a lot. And same within the chair, might be a little bit easier in the chair because you can stomp this left foot down and use it as stability as you move your hip. And then we're going to come to stillness. And I want you just to take a moment to lengthen your body back out if you're lying down. And if you're sitting, press your feet on the ground, lift your spine nice and straight, and take a few deep breaths, inhaling from your feet to the top of your head, exhaling head to feet. And then start to notice the difference between the right leg and the left leg and what's going on for you. I definitely feel some tingling going on, and almost like I think of our joints being like individual little dams in the river. And now this whole right side is open. So I can feel like there's like this river flowing through my leg. Now we'll go on to the left side. So again, we'll bring this left leg up, right heel comes down. And if you're sitting, that's good too. So we'll spread the toes, inhale, exhale, release, and do that a few times. Just you can also curl the toes a little bit. And then we'll inhale, point the toes to the sky. Exhale, drag them down towards your nose. And inhale, getting that flexion of the foot, an extension. Now we're going to roll the ankle in circles. So this time we'll inhale, Toes go out to the left, up towards the sky, around to the right, and then down. So big, trying to do full range of motion here. And continuing again, if you're sitting down and have yourself braced behind so you have support. And then we'll switch directions. So inhale to the right and then up, exhale out and then down. And paying attention to if one side felt a little more open or closed than the other, because it's normal to have imbalances, especially when we're dealing with everything below our waist. All right, now we'll go towards our knees. So you can pick that heel up straight, straighten the leg, feel a stretch, and then exhale, drop the heel down and do that a few times. And if you're seated, again, it takes a little core to straighten and bend here. Might be a little easier to do it in the chair just because you have a little more support to press the right foot down, hands underneath like this. Good. And then on to the hip. So the left knee's into the chest. Inhale and bring it out to the side and then forward. Exhale over midline and then back into the chest. Inhale out and forward and exhale back in. And then we'll switch directions the next time it comes around. Also, remembering that if you're not moving, you're still breathing, trying to breathe with my movements. And you can really cultivate your breath if you're not moving, because sometimes it's easier to breathe really deeply when you're not focused on the two things at once. Okay, and then coming back into center, we'll place both legs down and just notice how it feels. Both legs may have that tingling sensation. Maybe they feel more open. Maybe you don't feel a difference, and that's okay too. So just take notice and again, just befriend the experience of being with your body, noticing. Sometimes it might not feel good during, but it feels good after. So we're slowly start to make our way up. So I'm going to bend my knees and roll to one side and then just use my hands to push myself up. And then sitting down, it might be better to sit in a chair if you're not comfortable sitting on the floor. So I will do that for this part. And then move towards our hands, wrists, elbows, and then shoulders and neck. So we kind of did the whole lower body. I have a lot of tingling going on in my legs. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm just cold because it's cold in Denver. But anyway, we'll shake those arms out. And let's start by bringing both arms out. And we're going to spread the fingers. Inhale, bend them, spread and bend. Inhale and exhale. And again, then we're going to flex and extend just like we did with our ankles. So inhale, bring the hands kind of like you're putting a stop up and fingers to the sky, flexing them back. And then exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Now we'll go towards our wrists, and I'm going to take my left hand and put it under my right wrist and extend that out. Tuck the thumb under and wrap my fingers around. And the reason I'm supporting it is so that I can keep my wrist level. Now we're going to start by inhaling. We're going to roll out and then the knuckles go down. Exhale over to the left and up and continuing to roll. And I always get a lot of there's like little cracks and chunkiness going on in the wrist. And then we'll switch and go the opposite way. So rolling over and around. It's kind of hard to keep it level. That's why the hand is there for support. Remembering to breathe. Good. Then we're going to slide the hand up so that it's kind of more on the tricep so that you can inhale, bend the elbow just like we did with the knee. And then exhale, you kind of let it gently flop, almost like you're like rolling a dice and the hands open. Then inhale, bend, deflex, exhale, roll, inhale, and exhale. One more. And then just let that right arm dangle and notice the difference between the right and the left arm. Seems like we're not doing a lot, but we really are. So now both the legs are open, and you may notice that that river, we've unlocked all those little joints and the dams in the river. So it's flowing, and now it's up to the arms. We're going to go to the other side. So again, we're going to take our hand underneath the left wrist, and we're going to start to just roll the wrist, and we'll go out, and then the knuckles come down, in, and then up, inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll switch. Good. All right. And then we'll move up underneath the tricep for support. And we'll inhale, we'll flex, and then exhale, extend. And inhale, bending the elbow, and exhale, release. And we'll do one more. I have this little something going on in my right elbow, so it feels really good to do this because it's almost like it's working something out. All right. Um, and we'll just shake those arms out. Notice maybe they're both feeling good right now. And then we'll move to the shoulders and then our neck. So we'll take the fingertips to the shoulders, and this may not be comfortable. You can also just bring your arms out, and we'll just be doing big circles like this. However, feels good to you, especially if you have any restricted movement in the chest or the shoulder area, is very common. Especially, I know it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. So if you've had any surgeries or trauma to this area, it's might be more sensitive, and you might have one side that feels a little more uneven, and that's totally okay. So just notice again, befriending your body with whatever you're navigating. And we'll inhale the elbows up, exhale out to the side and down. And just moving as freely as you can again, and maybe your arms are out wide, maybe they're down low, just whatever you can do to get a little movement into the shoulders, thinking like motion is lotion, and breathing and movement is therapeutic for the body. And therefore, when the body's open, the mind becomes more open, allowing hands to just settle, maybe shimmy a little. And then we'll move to the neck. It's our last part, and then we'll be fully open. So we're going to start by looking over to the right and then up to the sky. As you come up, let your mouth open, and then exhale to the left and down. And the reason for opening the mouth is just to keep the neck safe. Good. One more time. Inhale to the right and up, and exhale to the left and down. And we'll switch directions. So this time looking over to the left and up to the sky. Exhale to the right and down. Good. One more time. Inhaling, exhaling, coming back to center and just closing down your eyes. Taking some deep breaths in from your feet up to the crown of your head, and just noticing what's going on in your body right now. Releasing any tension in your jaw. You could even take your hands, like I like to take my fingers to that little divot where your jaw bones meet, and sort of push. This is this masseter muscle, and it's actually one of the strongest in the body because you think about how much chewing we do on a daily basis. And so we're going to release and sort of push, and it's a little tender. And you can go back to the occipital lobe and sort of push up into right below the skull there, release any tension that you might feel there, down into the shoulders. Give yourself a little massage, a little bit of a hug. And then once again, just close down your eyes for a few moments. You could be laying down for this or in your chair with your back against the chair so you have a little support, feet flat on the floor. Just taking a moment to breathe nice, long, smooth, deep breaths. You may notice that your breath is moving more freely through your body now. Sometimes it's hard to just settle in and do the deep breathing right at first. We have to meet ourselves where we're at, which in the middle of the day, there's a lot of action in the morning and we're trying to slow down. So we did that gradually, but now you can just relax and breathe. You notice if there's anything, any parts in your body that feel still stuck, which is okay. Notice what feels more open. Again, deep breaths in from your feet to the crown of your head. Gently hold the breath at the top and then slowly exhale when you're ready. And let the breath move down your body towards your feet. Trying just a few more of those on your own. Maybe noticing if anything came up for you. Sometimes emotion can come up when we slow down the body like this. And what we just did was we unlocked energetic knots in the body. Our body has what we call marma points. And so when we unlock the joints, we access some of those more energetic points in the body where it can allow some releases. Maybe not now, it could later too. So just if you feel something coming on, that's totally okay. You let it out and let it go. That's that whole befriending your body part. And with our last few breaths, we're going to set an intention that can be used as an affirmation that you can repeat through the rest of your day. It said that where our intention goes, energy flows. And since flow has been sort of a theme, you could use the intention I'm setting, which is I allow flow, or you could say I feel flow. You could also pick any word of your own or set any other intention that feels authentic to you right now. What is your body? What is your mind saying? Really, it's more what your heart's saying because that heart space is what we're trying to access when we slow down, override what the mind wants because it can get a little bossy anyway. And say that intention to yourself 3 times as you breathe. And when you're ready, you can blink open your eyes.